Happiness often sneaks through a door you didn't know you left open. John Barrymore.
Okay, John. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Because you can do all these things to try to do this, do that, do the other thing. And sometimes happiness just comes out of something you tried to manifest a while ago and just needed time to grow.
Yeah.
Totally. Is that what that's saying? Or am I just pulling that out of my butt?
Yeah, that, and also maybe it's not always the things that you're focusing on that will, trying super hard to be happy is not always the best route to happiness, right? Sometimes it's from avenues and from doors that you didn't even have in your line of sight that you weren't paying attention to.
I guess that makes sense. I've always enjoyed tea and it's always made me happy, but now that I have so much internet stuff going on around tea, I have so much more happiness in my life because of that. And I had no idea that would be the case.
Right.
Are we getting really deep really early?
Really, really deep.
Hello! And welcome back to another episode of
Positivity.
This is the podcast where we give you good vibes by the spoonful. I am your host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan.
I'm also your host, Jacob Kahn.
Oh, hey friends, if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll notice we are in a different place in our apartment. This might be the set that we're going to use. I don't know.
Giving it a try. A nice little fireplace in the background. We got our living room set up. Yeah, we're living the dream in this little space. We love it.
Yeah, we really, really are. It's been delightful. Also, we had an objective to not have to rearrange the house too much to film on different sets. And for my More Mary show on Sundays and my Tea Time with Mary show on Tuesdays, I've accomplished just that. However, for the podcast, we
moved some stuff.
Yeah, we moved our dining table 90 degrees and 3 feet to the right.
Whoa. In comparison to what we did in the last place, this is nothing.
Oh my gosh. Because we had no permanent dining table in the last place. So we had to drag a collapsible table out of the back.
Well, first we had to take down our living room.
Yeah.
Clear a space for that collapsible table.
Set it up, tablecloth it. I mean, you guys know if you watch on YouTube. And by the way, we are less than 10 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers on the Miss Mary Lou YouTube channel. So if you've always listened to us in your ears and you've never seen the videos, you can see us make funny faces. And yeah, we are so close. I think as of today, we're 6 subscribers away.
So
from
exciting.
1,000.
Tell your friends or be a friend.
Tell your friend. Thank you for being a friend. Wow. So, Jacob, what's the tea today?
This is an exquisite blend from Tea Spectral.
Yeah, thank you, Steph.
Forest.
Yes. We have drunk this one time on the podcast before, but it's a rainy, chilly day here in LA. And I was like, you know what? Maybe some people missed that episode of the podcast. I want to drink it again. And Tea Spectral has some just really gorgeous stuff. And I just felt like an ethereal brew in my cup today.
Yeah, this is sort of a magic elven brew.
Yeah, it's black tea with orange peel, sage, cinnamon, and juniper berries. I've never had a tea like this before.
It's so good.
It's fluff and amazing.
Yeah.
It's just...
Thanks, Steph.
Thanks, Steph. Yeah, Tea Spectral. Check her out online. It's freaking awesome. Not sponsored. Hopefully soon, once we reach 1,000 subscribers and such, we are right on track to hopefully do sponsorships with some of my favorite tea people and stuff like that, so that we can make this sustainable and whatnot going forward, because we make a lot of content every week and it can be a little hard sometimes to balance going to work and editing for 6 hours and all that stuff. So maybe sometime soon. I'm drinking this right now.
Nice, do it. Yes. Delicious. So, Mary.
Yeah.
Last week on the podcast and in your life, your self-help experiment was you were seeking help when you needed it and reminding yourself that you are worth it.
Yeah. Just as a reminder to everyone, seek help. You're
worth it.
Seek help.
You're worth it.
Yeah, so that's just a mantra that's been going over and over in my brain. Seek help. You're worth it.
Yeah.
And I think it has been going well.
Good.
I went to the doctor this past week, and we talked about a lot of stuff, and she assured me like she's always there for me. I have the best doctors. I'm so freaking grateful. And I have this thing where I'm like, oh gosh, I just have so many health problems. I probably shouldn't even mention this one, even though, like, when you have as many diagnoses as I do and struggle with chronic pain and such, I tend to push, like, what I call normal problems to the wayside that, any other generally healthy human being would be like, oh my gosh, I need to get this checked out. But for me, I just have so much other stuff going on that I tend to push that stuff to the wayside,
No.
which is not good. But seek help.
You're worth it.
Seek help.
You're worth it.
So yeah, I finally got referred to a dermatologist.
Heck yeah.
At my
High
doctor's
five.
podcast high five. Woo!
Woo.
So yeah, finally getting that done.
Nice.
And that's been something that I have been putting off out of being overwhelmed or guilt for too long. So that's been going great. So Jacob, last week you were talking about creating your environment specifically for yourself and not for other people. So how has that been going for you this week?
I think I've done pretty well this week. We've added a few more things to this apartment.
We have.
We put some pictures and paintings up on the wall, and there was definitely a lot of hesitation before I put some of this stuff up where I was like, maybe this won't look like the most grown up or the most I have my life put together. But you know what?
I love it.
These
I think
things,
it's beautiful. We did a whole little
they make me happy.
yeah, it's like
And
it's
that's
a
the point
gallery
of them.
wall
Yeah.
in the living room. And I think it's lovely, and we have all different kinds of shapes of frames, and
Yeah.
it's eclectic and awesome.
It's a little mishmash of painting and drawing and pictures and things that I like and that remind me of places I've been and people I love. And it doesn't really matter about how it affects anyone else.
No,
and I
I
reminded
mean-
myself of that and I hung them up on the wall, and it makes me super happy.
It's balanced. It's very visually pleasing the way everything is set up. So I think the gallery wall came out great.
Yeah, I think so too.
And you did it for you.
Did it
and
for me, and for
so
you.
That's great.
And
That's
for the
good.
kitties.
For the kitties. Shoot.
Shoot. All right, so what has been your self-care experiment this week?
Okay, well, speaking of kitties.
Yeah.
So my self-care experiment has been seeing if pet therapy is real and if it works for me. For those of you podcast fam that missed last week, we revealed to you that we got 2 little kittens that we call the Hobbitses. Their names are Meriadoc Brandybuck and Peregrine Took. Merry and Pippin from Lord of the Rings, of course. They are brothers from another mother and are living up to their namesakes quite well. We have not revealed the names anywhere else.
Yeah, exclusive podcast.
Exclusive for podcast fam. I am working on a Meet My Kittens video for the YouTube channel, and then I'll be talking about them and showing pictures. I haven't even shown pictures of them
I know you've been so
on
good.
social media.
We have lots of pictures.
Oh, so many. We're
we've been
like building up a catalog.
Resisting the urge to show them.
Yeah. So I was like, because my doctor, my wonderful doctor, she had been begging me for years, like, please let me write you a note saying that you need a cat, because I think it would be really, really beneficial for your mental health and, for your physical health as well. And we were in a situation where we were very paranoid in our last living situation that, yes, if you have a note from a doctor saying you need a therapy animal, you cannot be kicked out of your apartment legally. But there was so much fear where we were and et cetera, I resisted. And so when she heard that I was getting kittens, she was so, so thrilled. And I have to say, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feeling it?
I'm really
Feeling the
feeling
joy.
it. And you know what's good too is because I'm kind of a workaholic, obviously. They encourage me to take breaks, because it gets to a certain point, I'm sitting at my desk working and they're like, what's so interesting over there? I'm way more interesting. And Mr. Meriadoc will even just sit right on the keyboard and be like, what could you possibly looking at that's cuter than me?
Don't touch this. Touch me.
Touch me. Pet me. And just they're purring, and Pippin is such a floof. He's a little derp and so cute. And
Yeah.
he purrs all the time. And if you scratch under his arms, he rolls on his belly, on his back, and lifts his little arms above his head and kneads the air. And it brings me so much joy. And also like to take care of little babies, feeding them, making sure they have water, etc.
Yeah.
So every part about having a kitten so far has been great. And other
Dope.
stressful things like, oh, I'm afraid they're going to break this. I just like adhered them to the surfaces that they're on. So like my breakable teacups are like command stripped to my coffee and tea bar.
It's working out all right.
Yeah, it's been working out pretty well, actually.
They haven't been too bad with trying to knock things over. Mostly they just play with each other.
Yeah,
and
which is
wrestle
really nice.
and roll around
and cuddle, and they were grooming each other this morning, which is the cutest thing. I mean, even
Yeah.
watching them be adorable, it releases those feel good like endorphins and stuff in your system. So
Yeah.
pet therapy is a really good choice for me
Highly
personally
recommend.
and my mental health.
Yes.
And this apartment has no pet deposit.
Hey.
Hey. So Jacob, how about you? What have
Awesome.
you done for your self-care this week?
Well, another benefit to where we now currently live is I'm a little bit closer to where I work. So instead of driving, I've been walking every day. It takes me about 12, 13 minutes. I'm walking not fast, just at a comfortable pace.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it pretty much 4 or 5 times a week now for 2 weeks. And what's really nice about that for me is I'm taking my headphones with my phone and I've just been listening to music along the way. And it's been really meditative and relaxing to have that time alone in the outdoors and sort of in nature. I mean, I'm in a city, but it's, there's trees and there's birds and I'm outside and it's,
flowers.
yeah. And I'm not like just in my home, in my car, at work, in my car, at home.
It's like you move from box to box to box. You're
Right.
actually out in the world.
And the combination of that and having the music to take with me has been really nice and relaxing and meditative. And I'm turning that into a nice little habit. And I'd like to keep that going. I think it's been really good for my mental health.
Yeah, it's
So-
like you're carving out little pockets of time just for yourself.
Yeah, and I've even put on a few podcasts a few times on the way, which I've not really got into so many podcasts in the way that I feel like lots of people have over the last few years, mostly just because I don't seem to have a space or a time where I feel like I can really do that. It tends to be a thing that people multitask with, right? Like they're doing something else and they can listen to a podcast, put it kind of on in the background.
Yeah.
And I just haven't had that
just
much.
like sit and listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I know
Well,
a lot of
even
people
that-
in the car, they put us on and it helps them carve out their little me time on
Wow.
their commute, which is really cool.
Yeah, I know. Listen to me talking on this podcast about how I don't usually listen to podcasts, but it's been nice to be finally in a position where I have time to do that.
I think that's really, really wonderful. And, I think a lot of us have to commute to a place in some capacity, whether it's a bus or a walk or a car, etc. And being able to use that time in a productive, relaxing sort of way. Does that make sense? A productive yet non-productive.
Yeah.
Like,
And it feels more engaging than a lot of social media things, a lot of things that you do on your phone these
Yeah.
days that I find very isolating and mind-numbing. Podcasts seem to have, and music seem to have the opposite effect on me.
And of course, if you are doing these things like listening and multitasking, please be safe.
Oh yeah, don't
Still
do
be
it while
aware
you're
of your
driving.
surroundings. You can listen to
Too.
podcasts while you're driving.
Well, don't put the earbuds in while you're
No,
driving.
don't put earbuds in while you're driving. Safe podcasting, everyone.
Yeah.
Community news. Welcome to Community News. This is the part of the podcast where we ask you,
Yeah.
the listeners, for any sort of awesome stuff that happened to you throughout your week. And then we give you a little shout out and celebrate your general awesomeness.
Woo!
Yeah, I love it. I do shout outs on my social media at Miss Mary Lou, or you can just tag me in anything that happens during your week at Miss Mary Lou on generally all the places.
Yeah.
And I love hearing from you and
Me
your little
too.
nuggets of goodness, right?
It's really nice.
Just brightens our freaking weeks. So let's get ready for some feel good, celebratory, awesome sauce stuff from you.
Yes.
So this week was an Instagram week. Everybody submitted on Instagram this week.
Shoot.
Yeah, faux show. So this first one is from Annie Victoria on Instagram. Hi, Anne. And she says she got her annual review with a bonus and a raise and a little rock on emoji. You know what, Anne? Rock on. Heck yes. I know like annual reviews can be really intimidating for a lot of people, especially if you know something like Keish is writing on it, but I'm sure you went in and were just your wonderful self.
Yeah. You got a raise too. I've definitely had some annual review type things where like I did everything perfect and I got nothing out of it. So, hey, awesome that there's like a raise to accompany that to appreciate what you're doing.
And money isn't everything, of course, but taking it from a position of gratitude and being thankful for what you have, maybe it can ease a little bit of stress in your life. I think that's a really wonderful thing. So heck yeah. You go, Glen Coco, nailing that quarterly review.
Y'all did
bonus and a raise. Queen. Oh, so good.
Love it.
All right. So also from Instagram, this is from H. Meyer Post.
Hello.
Which if you don't know, this lovely human designed our PositiviTea little podcast logo.
Isn't it so cute?
Our happy little teacup that you've all known and grown to love.
It's perfect.
It is perfect.
Yes.
So she has been doing this yoga challenge, and it was a huge stretch for her. But she put that in. She's not always a very active person, but she really wanted to push herself to be healthier, both mentally and physically. It's been like riding a bike. All of these things are coming back as she does them. But day 9 was particularly difficult. She wasn't feeling well beforehand and had to modify a few things in order to keep going. But then, when she realized that they were going to do crow pose, she knew she wanted to give it a try. And it actually turned out much better than she thought, and she continues to be so happy, and especially because of the fact that she decided to push herself. So,
Yay!
Yeah, I have been really enjoying watching this journey from H. Meyer Post on her Instagram stories, because usually her cats are involved in her yoga somehow. They just like to be there. And I think that's really wonderful. I know you see these different challenges, like Be Healthier challenges go around, and I think the spin that, she's been doing on this yoga challenge, which, by the way, obviously talk to your doctor, but if you have not tried yoga, it's such a magical, wonderful thing for your body. We had a good news article.
Yeah. About the positive effects of yoga.
Yeah, for people that work in like emergency services and the awesome things about it. And
First responders, yeah.
Yeah, it's this like gorgeous balance of mental and physical health. So the fact that you're doing this 30-day challenge or whatever it is, even when you weren't feeling well that day, even if you had to modify a couple of things, you did it anyway. I mean, yoga is not about being everything perfect and nailing it all the time. It's about the journey. It's about exploring your breath and feeling your body and grounding yourself and all of this other really great stuff that are useful skills in lots of other situations outside of yoga. So, like, you are a wizard.
You are a warrior.
Yes. And especially the fact that your cats just like to be nearby when you do
pretty
yoga.
Great.
I gotta try that. I haven't done any yoga with our kittens yet.
They do stretches and poses all the time.
They do. Cat stretch, girl.
I'm so glad that you pushed through that day 9 feeling too. That it can be really hard to keep yourself going in a new habit and a new activity.
Yeah.
And I feel that. And really, really awesome. Good for you that you pushed through it and you're still enjoying it.
Yeah.
And finding joy in it.
And I've been keeping up. She's still going.
Yeah.
And she submitted this to me like shortly after we recorded the last podcast last week. So
Nice.
It's going well. You're a wizard warrior person.
You're a wizard
You're
warrior.
A wizard. Alrighty, and our last one from Instagram today is from Tea for Me, please.
Hi.
Hello. So wonderful as always when you submit. And she says she finally got a job. Been looking since December, so it's about time.
Yes.
Yes. Woo.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. That's so wonderful. And for those of you that don't know Tea for Me, please, she is like an award-winning tea blogger who has been supporting me in my online endeavors since like the beginning.
Forever ago.
Yeah. So like I always just wish her all the success in the world, and I'm so glad that you were finally employed again.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. You deserve so much. All of you listening, you deserve happiness. You deserve, like, you're worth it.
You're
Seek
worth
help.
it.
You're worth it.
Yeah.
Seek what you need. You're worth it. Yes, you're all worth it. You're all wonderful. Thank you, Tea for Me, please, for sharing that with us because, since December, that's a long haul. That's like a full 2+ months that you've been going at this now. And I know, that job search grind can be really
rough. I'm glad it paid off.
Yeah. And
I'm so happy for
really
you.
happy for you. And again, money isn't everything, but if it can bring you some kind of relief from any stress that's been going on in your life, being grateful. And I'm so, so, so happy for you.
Yeah.
So thanks for being a super awesome person. And thank you for sharing. Because that can be kind of scary to be like, yeah, I was unemployed. And now I'm not. But, the struggle is real and a lot of us go through it. So keep going.
Yeah.
Keep on that job search grind. You can freaking do it. Seek help. You're worth it. Seek help. You're worth it.
Good news, everyone. I have good news.
It's good news.
Yeah. This is the segment where we bring you a positive news story.
Yeah, so Jacob every week dives into the depths of the interwebs to fish out a good news story.
Because guess what? It's there.
It is.
good news.
Again, important to stay informed with the happenings in the world,
Yep.
but it's also sometimes soul-crushing when you get too much into it. So we're here for your good vibes by the spoonful. All right.
But actually, this week, I didn't have to dig too hard because this was everywhere and it's huge. And maybe you heard about it.
I see your source is written down as from
everywhere. I mean, I actually read about this in multiple places. So if you haven't heard about it yet,
Here we are. Hello.
I'm happy to bring this to your attention. This past week, scientists and doctors proclaimed the second ever person to be cured of HIV. Yeah.
I didn't know this.
So if you're unaware or unfamiliar, in 2006, there was a man who's referred to commonly as the Berlin patient, because I think that's where the procedure and the cure happened, who was the first person to be recorded and reported as having had HIV and being cured of it. He also had leukemia, and it was a bone marrow transplant procedure that was intended to attack the cancer, but that also was the mutated bone marrow cells were resistant to the HIV that he had, and months and months and months and years and all the tests after this procedure, he's been HIV free. Since then, there have been many attempts to try and recreate this treatment and no successes, essentially.
Until now.
Until now, and what's really cool about this is that the first guy back in 2006, the Berlin patient, he was subjected to some treatment, some HIV treatment that is not really, doesn't happen anymore. Like it's super harsh and severe, and it had some really, really bad side effects. And he had to be put into an induced coma at one point. He was like close to death at one point. And so
Was this before or after he was cured?
this was before,
Okay.
and so the running theory was maybe a person's immune system has to be put through that kind of stress, and like they have to be brought to basically the brink of death in order for HIV to to be eradicated from their system. That was kind of the fear. And this new patient has disproved that because
Oh, that's good.
and not that it wasn't hard and harsh and severe.
Of course it was.
He also had cancer, had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and this was an attempt to battle the cancer as well. But it wasn't nearly as life-threatening, the side effects to him, and the procedure was in 2016, so it's been almost 3 years now. And after 24 tests, there's no sign of the disease in his body anymore.
And he had the bone marrow transplant?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's really crazy. So AIDS, HIV, as you know, probably affects
It's an autoimmune
millions and millions of people.
Yeah, it's transmitted through like bodily fluids and such, and it has actually been on the rise again, which is very scary. And people usually, they don't die from AIDS, they die because their immune system is so weak that even something like a common cold or a flu can overtake them. So
Exactly.
It's very scary, very serious stuff that affects a lot of really wonderful people.
Tens of millions of people worldwide, and the mutated AIDS or HIV resistant gene or cells has only been found in something like 20,000-ish people. Wow. So it's not a lot, and this is a very risky procedure. And moving forward, bone marrow transplants are probably not going to be...
They're very expensive too. It's really hard to get them approved by insurance a lot of the time.
Probably not going to be the way that a cure is sought through. Like, it's super risky and dangerous and also, very expensive. And there's just not that much in that way,
around,
right?
Yeah, for everyone that needs it. But this is an excellent step in the right direction.
But yeah, it's like, it's doable, it's curable, it exists, and you don't necessarily have to almost kill the person to save them. Of course, the caveat to all of this is that since there are only two people to talk about with this, the word cure is a bit loose. Like, there's not really anything else to compare this against.
Yeah.
But like I said, 3 years almost, 24 blood tests, and no sign of the virus anywhere in him. So
that's incredible.
I should say also he's remaining anonymous, but he's being referred to as the London patient because that's where this procedure took place for him. Very, very exciting news, and it's been everywhere. And
this is like our second sciencey one in a row.
Had to mention
I
it.
love good sciencey news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's very exciting.
Gosh, how freaking incredible. So you know what? I raised my glass of tea, my cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
We have matching teacups today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Excellent news. Huzzah.
Huzzah.
All right, Jacob. I think that's pretty much it for the podcast today.
Yeah, it was good.
I like that this week it felt really relaxed and chill, and just like, I have so many feel goods fluttering around in my heart right now. I don't know about y'all listening. I don't know about you, Jacob. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I think we both needed a relaxed day in podcasts after the
yesterday was very busy,
hectic
for us.
week we've had.
Yeah, it was a very good week, but we're both a little
tired.
Yeah, we tired.
But
all good things.
Thanks for being with us, y'all.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. I hope you like our cozy little setup here if you're with us on YouTube. Again, hop on over and check out the podcast in video form if you can. Like 6 subscribers away. Very exciting, from 1,000. So, and even if it's just audio, tell your friends, tell your family. Our little podcast fam is growing, and I fluff and love it.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Spread the joy.
Spread the joy. Spread the good vibes.
Spread that positivity.
Oh, shoot. It's like...
Pour some for your friends.
It's like we really thought about the name for this podcast. Shoot.
All right, Mary, you want to close us out with a quote?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
My positive quote this week is from Norman Vincent Peale. Change your thoughts and you change your world. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that for a freaking positivity relevant quote?
It's all about your outlook. It's all about what you take in,
Seek
what
help.
you process.
You're worth it.
Seek help. You're worth it.
Oh. Yeah, see? Building habits, man.
Exactly.
Seek help. You're worth it. Go to the dermatologist. Thank you so much for listening and watching us this week.
Yeah. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week on the PositiviTea podcast. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Mary Lou, at PositiviTea, TEA podcast at gmail.com. And we are also on YouTube at the Miss Mary Lou YouTube channel. Wherever you are listening to us, please give us a like, a follow, a share, and leave a nice review. We would appreciate a little bit of positivity in our lives. The logo design is by Hilda Meyer Post. The music is by my co-host Jacob Kahn. I am your co-host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on Thursday.